Our contract with Vancouver FC officially expires at the end of the month of December. We have rejected all overtures from the club to engage us for another year or two, but usually just a year. We've said no every time they've come a-calling, which means the job hunt is on. And welcome back, everyone, to episode number 40 of The American Dream. I'm Mr. Cellophane. If you've enjoyed the series so far, make sure you hit that like button. Please help grow the channel. Make sure as many people get to enjoy these videos as you seem to, because you keep coming back each and every week, and I greatly appreciate it. Did I say each and every week? I upload 6 times a week, each and every day, except for Sundays, where you can still come on Sundays if you are catching up. I am losing the thread. We are, even though we are still technically employed, we are less than a month away from the end of our contract. So we have begun poking around for a new job. We are concentrating because we already know that Canada is... There's a glass ceiling on Canadian involvement in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So we are focusing on some of the nations that are most often represented. We're looking at Costa Rica, we're looking at Panama, we're looking at Honduras as our primary potential destinations. It doesn't mean that we're ruling anything else out, but we really want to get a good quality top flight job in one of those nations because, again, no Canada. We've already done the Canadian thing. No U.S., no Mexico. So the first job that we are in the running for, that we've been offered an interview for, is with Herediano, currently sitting 5th in the top division in Costa Rica after 22 matches, sitting on 33 points, 9 wins, 6 draws, 7 losses. Not bad, but they could do better. So we're meeting with Juan Carlos Furtado, the president of the team, to see if they will allow us to come interview. Well, they are already allowing us the interview, to give us the opportunity to take on their job. I'm not sure how we're going to answer all of these questions because some of them are a little bit different from the ones we came up with before. We're going to keep any responses we can. We're going to keep very similar to the ones we've given before. When it comes to the language, it's just another notch in our bow. It's something that we should pick up pretty easily. We are asking for a chance. Our manager experience lacks variety in their opinions. Why? Because I've only had 2 jobs. I trust that I can be the right candidate for the job as we ask for a chance. I'm up for a few jobs right now, just trying to forge ahead with my career. It's the same answer we gave last time in the job search that landed us the gig at Vancouver FC. Previously been embroiled in media controversy, citing my inability to cultivate a strong dressing room atmosphere. I reject the premise of this question. We'll say that's the exception rather than the rule. Am I able to use their worries about losing the backing of my players in the subsequent airing of any dirty laundry in public? This was like a one-time thing. I've learned from those mistakes. They'd be looking for a candidate capable of performing to competition expectations, something the last manager couldn't do. Not my fault. Am I confident of handling that better than my predecessor? I have a good record when it comes to meeting expectations. And honestly, that's not a lie. How would I feel about working with the current director of football? Let me meet with him first. Maybe give me a small budget. They're looking to play high-tempo pressing football and defensively solid football. I'm not sure if those are exactly mutually exclusive. Work within the wage budget, grow the reputation, not sign old players, qualify for the Central American Cup this season, record a top-half finish in the opening stage of the Primera División. I'm not sure if that's possible. I'm not sure how many teams are actually in the competition, and reach the latter stages of the Copa Costa Rica. And then once ownership of the club is resolved, they will give us more long-term stuff. Yeah, that doesn't exactly fill me with the greatest amount of confidence. We're not going to request anything else, so that just about covers everything. They're going to go review my process before determining who becomes their new manager. Good luck, and we'll be in touch soon. Now, you may be asking yourself, Mr. Cellophane, but you are still employed by Vancouver FC. Why are you going out and interviewing for jobs? Well, we determined that the period between December and January was probably the most likely time that managers were going to be relieved of their duties, as we've seen actually fairly recently. When we first ended the season in October, there were only 3 positions available throughout the entirety of North and Central America. As you can see, a few more have cropped up. We've already applied for the Herediano job as well as the position at Saprissa, also in Costa Rica. Now, they're very interesting because they are currently sitting in first place on the table, as is LA Firpo in El Salvador, another job that we have thrown our hat into the ring. And we are also waiting for a response from a first place team in Panama at CD Universitario. We figured that if we waited until our contract ended up, some of these top flight jobs that we may be well suited for may no longer be available. And we wanted to give ourselves the greatest option we possibly could in order to move forward with a new club as quickly as possible. In fact, as we speak, a brand new job came up in Panama at Sporting San Miguelito as they have parted ways with their manager. So another hat into another ring. Surprisingly, this did not take as long as I thought, but Herediano have approached Billy Flynn to take over as manager for their club. As you remember, they are in the top flight in Costa Rica. $2.5 million in the transfer budget, $125,000 in the weekly wage bill. I'm not sure where that fits in on the scale of the league, but I'm sure we're going to find out. And they're offering us a wage of $6,000 per week. We're making $950 at Vancouver. All we need to do is qualify from the Central American Cup, record a Primera División opening stage, top half finish, and reach the latter stages of the Copa Costa Rica. Now, this current season has been a pretty good one. And by the way, the kits that I created for Costa Rica are pretty darn sick. I like these. They've also won a CONCACAF League before. They've won 2 Central American Cups, including this past year. So I believe they are already qualified for next year's CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is key. And it could lead to us making a very swift decision. That all being said, we are asking for a 1-week delay just to see if any of the other applications we've put in will bear fruit. But for a first job to be offered, leaving Vancouver, this is a pretty good one. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I did because Club Deportivo Saprissa has also come to us and offered us a job interview. They've won the Primera División de Costa Rica 39 times. Also taken home the CONCACAF League once. Now, this was in the days prior to the current format of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, but that is neither here nor there. They also won the Continental playoff in the South American Cup, so they will also be representing Costa Rica in the Champions Cup this coming season. And we've also been offered the opportunity to interview for the job in El Salvador with LA Firpo. I'm expecting the questions to be very much the same. So we're asking for a chance in the country, up for a few jobs, keeping progressing, embroiled in the media, exception rather than the rule, inability to command the support of your players, happened a long time ago. I've learned. Looking for a capable candidate to perform to competition expectations. My record speaks for itself. We are not going to commit to your director of football or any other staffing, so not sure. Maybe some small modifications if we go through. Can you see all the questions are always, if not identical, very, very similar from one to the next. They want us to continue to win the Primera División opening stage, which they appear to be doing right now. They are currently sitting first place. 14 wins, 7 draws, 1 loss, 49 points after 22 matches. So we will agree. What's next? Nope, we don't need anything else. Thank you very much. My big fear, though, is if we don't hear back from these clubs in the next day or two, we are going to have to potentially put off the opportunity we already have on the table for yet another week, which makes me a little nervous. Well, it looks like we are not going to have to wait all that long because Saprissa have also approached Billy Flynn about the vacancy at their job in the top flight in Costa Rica, offering $11,750 per week. That is almost twice as much as we were offered before. $150,000 in the wage bill, which is about $50,000 or so, $25,000 more than we were getting out of Herediano, and $15.75 million transfer budget. Looking at their facilities, looking at their prospects, it's going to be a really tough call. At the end of the day, there really wasn't much of a decision to be made. Club Deportivo Saprissa have hired Billy Flynn. Twice the salary for us as a manager, a higher wage budget, a massive transfer budget, one unlike any we have even come close to seeing so far in this North American journey. And the team is currently sitting on top of the table by 7 points. What's not to like? Flynn lifted the Canadian Premier League title with Vancouver FC in 2028 and now be afforded the chance to enhance his reputation by bringing success to his new club, facing pressure to bring immediate success to Ricardo Saprissa Aima, having stepped up from his previous standing to take sole charge, and will need to hit the ground running if he's to win over those who believe his appointment is a questionable decision. Luis Antonio Marin was considered to be a favorite for the job, but it's unclear whether the club favored Flynn all along. We've rejected the offer from Herediano. Vancouver FC will now be looking for a new manager. So as of right now, we're going to be working with our director of football, Sergio Gila, and the assistant manager, Julio Deli Valdez. We had the opportunity to bring our assistant manager over from Vancouver FC, but Valdez was just honestly more qualified. We did bring our goalkeeping coach, who was handling all of our media for us in Vancouver. He wanted to come with us to Costa Rica, so he is here. Our finances are secure. We play at the Ricardo Saprissa Aima, built in 1972. It seats 25,000 people. Superb training facilities, excellent youth facilities, and good youth recruitment all around. And we are enjoying our greatest era in the current decade. So that is also very, very important to us. And we immediately step into the job to be greeted with a youth intake preview, which sadly does not look all that impressive. Just 2 stars in the estimation of our director of youth development. And yeah, that's about it. 9,838 season ticket holders, over 355,000 social media followers. No waiting list for the season tickets as of yet. They do expect us to win the Primera División opening stage, which we are currently doing. We have a transfer budget of $15.75 million and a wage budget of $150,000. So it ends up we have one final match in this opening stage, and that is the grand final second leg. And we're playing against Cartaginés, a team that, to say we've struggled against would be both an understatement and an overstatement. It's been quite a while since we've beaten them. However, most of the matches that we play end up in a draw. The first leg was a 1-0 victory in favor of Cartaginés. They scored a penalty. Hopefully, in the home leg, we'll see a different result. Now, we'll take a full look at our team as we assess things as we head into the winter transfer window in the next episode, but it's time to just get stuck in and get down to business. We're going to be playing with a 4-2-3-1, and that is the system they've been using all year. Figured, why not just stick with it? Don't need to reinvent the wheel for a team that is currently at the top of the table and one victory away from winning the grand final, whatever that means. We've got Kevin Chamorro, a 29-year-old Costa Rican goalkeeper. Little on the, his aerial reach is not the greatest. We'll have to look into that. A back four of Freddy Gonzalez, Jurikev Azofifa, Gerard Taylor, who is going to serve as our alternate captain, and Daniel Herrera on the right side. A midfield two of Alejandro Bran and Steven Akista. At the number 10 is going to be Johnny Castro. What a fantastic name, Johnny Castro. He's really built to be an enganche, but we're going to use him as an attacking midfielder. We're not going to get too exotic with our roles just yet. On the left wing will be Ramon. He has passed the fitness test, should be monitored, so he may not see out the entire match. On the right-hand side is Luis Diaz, who is a wanted man, as Qatar SC is interested in the transfer. And leading the line today is 22-year-old Costa Rican Esteban Cordero. And we enter the match in a revenge situation, having lost not only this match, but the one before that. In fact, Saprissa finds ourselves winless in our last 3. Meanwhile, Cartaginés has been on quite the good run, having won 4 of their last 5. We are in the purple with the white stripe. They are in the white with a little purple accent, so it's going to be kind of cool. We've got a whole new look, and it's a whole new world. You could not be further away from Canada and play in North America, for the most part, than you could be being in Costa Rica. And Saprissa in control. Brown feeding it to the right. Diaz, bit of a heavy touch taken away by Amud. Gonzalez playing it forward for Alfaro. Not enough pace on that, and Cordero's shot is going to go wide. Conte came out for it. Could not get there, but an opportunity goes a-begging. Fed up the left wing. Ramon in control, pushing it deep into the middle. Can't find Cordero. It will be headed away, and Cartagenas playing it ahead. Contreras in control. Dipsy doing past the defense. He got through like 3 or 4 guys. His shot will be saved by Chamorro, and it's going to be a corner kick opportunity for Cartagenas, leading this tie 1-0 on aggregate. Save made, but Aaron Rodriguez picking up the loose ball as Chamorro couldn't hold on to it. And Saprissa finds ourselves in a little bit of a hole as we are down 2-0 on aggregate. Just 8 minutes, 20 some odd seconds into this match. Chamorro did a great job of keeping the ball out of the net the first time, but sadly, Aaron Rodriguez was the only player in the vicinity when he knocked it off the goal line. Brand with a free kick. Looking far post. Can't pick out Herrera. Contreras won't be able to track it down. Castro into the middle. It will drop. And a penalty is going to be called as Alfaro put his hands on Cordero illegally. So Cordero will not only earn the penalty, but he's going to step up and take it. The left footer saved by the goalkeeper off of the crossbar. And then a free kick given to Cartagenas. We must absolutely demand more from our team at this point. We're down 1-0 on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. We are not winning at home. We have had 2 fantastic opportunities from our striker, Esteban Cordero, that were left on the table. A one-on-one opportunity early on in the match, and then missing the penalty in the 16th minute. We're going to go slightly more attacking as we try to put a little bit more pressure on Contreras. We're going to trigger the press on him and mark him tightly whenever we can. Corner kick coming up. Brand. Now, we've got a very wide pitch and a very short pitch, I have noticed. Those are dimensions that we had absolutely no control over. So we should probably make sure we are in as wide an attack as possible. Let's not wait for the overlap. I think that's a little bit asking too much. Will be a touch more expressive. So we can still bring part of our game full, even though we're not using the exact same formation that we used at Canada. We can bring some of the same mentality that we used in Canada. Ramon in control, early doors of this second half. Turns it over to Alfaro. Ahead, Montero along the edge of the box. Parkins will head it on, and it gets past the goalkeeper. Chamorro not covering himself in glory in this match. And it's Cartagenas 2, Saprissa 0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. And I think that may do it for Saprissa in this particular competition. I don't know what the grand final means. You get through the opening stage, and then there's a little playoff. The grand final is the final of that playoff. I don't know if it means money, if it means moving on to a different competition. It's all news to me. Cordero has got to come off. Guillermo Sanchez is going to come on and swap places with Ramon. Although, you know what? Ramon is really not... He's not in great shape right now. So we'll leave Guillermo Sanchez up top. Ramon is going to come off as well. We'll swap places with Luis Diaz. We'll bring in Diego Moreira on the attack, who will swap out with Johnny Castro, who will move to the outside. Gerard Taylor will be replaced by Emilio Lara. Still players that we are getting used to. I mean, we did just take the job like 36 hours before game time. So can't necessarily blame us not knowing all of the personnel, but we must berate the team in the early going, because there's no better way to get the respect of adults you don't know than by yelling at them. corner kick chance goes a begging for Cartagenes, but just 5 minutes remaining in this match. I think we are going to run out of time. Just a one shot on target. We managed to get chances. I don't think Chamorro has done a fantastic job in goal for us. We're going to definitely have to evaluate our goalkeeper situation moving forward. Obviously, Cordero with some issues at the striker position. It could have just been a bad game. I don't know why Castro didn't just settle that down and work it out of our box himself without sending it away on a weak header. I also do not know. Laura getting things started. Can we at least get a good opportunity at the end of this match? Give us something to hang our hats on. Diaz up the left wing. Stops. Pops it into the middle. Moreira can't win it. Janiga is able to clear. And Cartagenes will take control. Although turned over, Sanchez, oh my, how did he miss? How did Sanchez miss? I don't understand. And the opening stage trophy, it appears, is going to Cartagenes. A chance at hardware that we were unable to take in our first opportunity with Saprissa. It's disappointing, but a start. So the closing stage has been drawn. We kick things off on the road against Liberia. 22 matches to decide our fate. Only the bottom team on the overall table gets relegated. I don't think that's going to be us. There is the potential of another grand final coming up. We'll get to all of that as we take a deep dive into our team when we return for tomorrow's episode. We are in Costa Rica. Totally different from Canada already. Getting a completely different vibe. We just need to figure out how to get this team gelling and back on their winning ways. If you like the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. If you are brand new, let me know in the comments how you came to discover this content. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll be back tomorrow. I will see you then. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.